Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my corner of the internet. My name once again is Jason, and today we're back with some more Elder Scrolls Arena. First and foremost, I would like to apologize for the audio quality over the past few episodes. I was getting this annoying buzzing sound, and I'm not sure why it was there, but hopefully that has been rectified. I had to hold the wire in a certain way, and as I've explained in other videos, my recording setup is very, very horrible. But enough of that. Let's get into the game. We are now in Selene's Web, I believe it's called. Selene's Web. Now this one here I have not completed all the way on my other save, so this one's going to be a little bit blind for me. This dank, moldy corridor leads into Selene's Web. The smell of wet earth lingers in the air. Now that is to clarify. No, that is to clarify. Yes, that is proper English, and it makes total sense. I can totally put together coherent thoughts, I swear. What I meant to say was, on my most recent playthrough, I've not been through here, and since it has been a while since I played Arena, it's basically like I'm going in blind. You know how you put a game up on the shelf for like years, and you come back like a decade later, and you're like, hey, let's play this game. That's kind of how I am with Arena. I played this game way back, and I've forgotten most of it. So it's pretty much like I said, like I'm playing it all over again, with the exception of the other character I was playing ahead of it. Now, anyways, let's go ahead. Whoa. All right, so the enemies here do hit hard. I'm wondering, do the enemies actually level up, or is this are these spiders just as strong as the spiders were, we'll say, in an earlier dungeon? I don't know, it's a good question. I always wish you could loot these. You know what? I was going to say, man, there's a lot of spiders in here. Makes sense, the dungeon is called Selene's Web. And it would appear that wolves no longer pose any sort of threat to me. As long as they're not hellhounds or ice wolves. But I don't think we'll be meeting up with any of those here. As far as we'll say my limited... Oh, is there a guy behind the door? No. From my limited run... Whoa, what's that sound? I am not familiar with that sound. That, like, predator who inhaled helium sound. I do not know what that is. Oh, something's coming after me. Something opened the door. Oh, hello, spiders! Kite them along a bit, move backwards, because I find when you start moving backwards like that, it interrupts their attack animations because they're trying to keep up with you. So you keep kind of moving backwards like that, you can avoid getting hit while still slaying them, because you can attack and move at the same time. I've been playing, I've already mentioned this before, but I was playing the other Elder Scrolls games, and I've really got to say, I like Arena's, well, I guess it's fitting that it's Arena that I would have this thought about, but I really like its combat better than Daggerfall, and in some ways better than Morrowind. I generally don't have a problem with Morrowind's combat, but there's something about the feedback you get in Arena that's just much nicer. If it hits a glancing blow, it doesn't do any damage. You at least get like a tink kind of sound, like, oh, my hit, it was blocked, or it didn't do any sort of damage. Whereas Morrowind, it's just like swing and a miss, swing and a miss. So I'm not crazy about how the combat's done in some of the later games. Well, actually, Oblivion wasn't bad. That'll be the one nice thing I'll save right now. But, that might have changed. When I go back, when I finally do make it to Oblivion, my thoughts on the combat might be different. Because right now, I've been wanting to jump ahead. I'm like, oh, I want a mod, and I want to do all this and that. But I'm like, no, Jason, focus. Sit down and play through Arena. Your task right now is Arena. And I'm having a blast with this game. And I'm glad that I at least have some viewers. That makes me kind of happy. That somebody wants to, we'll say, share this experience with me, this running through Arena. I know it's not going to be the most popular series out there, because people want new games. They want new and flashy, but, you know what, honestly, with the exception of a few, we'll say, gems, I find it's really hard to find some new games that I can really get excited over and get really engrossed in. So, yeah. Arena is one of these games that I've got no problem with sinking hours into, but I guess that's sort of typical for an Elder Scrolls game. Whoa, hello, guy. Did it say I contracted something? Oh, my weapon broke. All right, let's take a look here. Let's hurry up. Click on myself. No, it didn't break. Did he just disarm me? He just. Sorry about the interruption there. Kid's home for the holiday and was having some problems with the TV while I took some time to record. So let's go ahead and get back into this. Right. So I guess I missed the message, but I'm assuming it was. Oh, I accidentally hit S. I guess they disarmed me. I get so it's such a habitual thing to want to rest your fingers on the WASD keys that you know it's really weird playing Arena and having to use the arrow keys. But anyways, yeah. Sorry for the interruption. Let's continue going through. One thing I do like about this dungeon is it seems very very well lit. Oh wait, there's no door on that wall. For some reason I thought I saw a door. I'm going crazy! Hello, wolf. Goodbye, wolf. Who teleported behind me after I killed it. Oh, it was like one of those samurai moments, or like those anime kind of things, you know, where the two people, they rush at each other and they both end up on the other side and then they both stand there for a moment before one of them falls. That is how you kill a wolf in style. Alright, so this seems like a fairly simple dungeon, and I'm wondering how much more difficult the game will actually become. Like, I'm wondering, will I face anything a little bit more more challenging, or is this basically it? Like, I'm fine with it being easier. Like, hey, heck, I find that, we'll say, the power creep is not so bad in this game. So, you know, even low enemies do have the capability of giving me a bit of a little bit of trouble. And I'm not even sure what the max level is in this game, so I don't remember. Well, I don't think I've ever reached max level, so not that I would actually remember. Alright, finding a lot of gold. Let me think here. Let me think for a second. What level am I, anyways? And if you're not familiar with the term I use there, power creep. Power creep generally refers to as you go on, things just become more and more like powerful as far as, like, we'll say, damage goes. Like, things just keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger until basically things at the beginning are basically non-existent, or they're pointless. Most RPGs tend to have some form of power creep, but not always, we'll say, done the same way. It generally refers to, we'll say, like, damage numbers going, like, very hokey, where it will say, like, first level or very weak or intermediate characters have are basically completely useless at later levels. Oh man, I take it back. I don't think the game is. Well, yeah, the game is easier. These guys used to, like, ghouls used to wreck me. They used to just ruin my day every single time I saw them. I was like, oh, friggin' ghouls, go away! And I'm trying to think of an example here. Well, you know, like for example, actually, I'm trying to think of a good example of power creep versus non-power creep, because most of them have, like I said, most RPGs do have it in one way or another. I'm gonna go ahead with Whoa. Calm down there, spider. Maybe I should, I'm going to save my game here. As a working save. That's an interesting thought. I can't think of a single RPG that, oh crap, I'm entering a new room and I'm being attacked from behind. Where are you? There! More spiders. Oh! I'm paralyzed. I will become invisible. And I'm just gonna wait. Oh, I'm not paralyzed anymore, so now I shall light heal and slay the spider. I kind of like this dungeon. It's pretty straightforward. You just run through, kill things. Why was there that kind of music? Is that a different spider? I don't know. Let's find out. Nope. Invisibility again. Man, that invisibility spell is useful. It reminds me, actually, that's kind of how I would play the game in Morrowind. I would always pick, you got to pick a different constellation. And I would always pick the Shadow, because as a special ability, or we'll say the constellation I picked for its special ability, which allowed you to, cast invisibility like once every 3 days or something like that. And it was great for getting out of tight spots. You know, I'm like, oh no, I'm screwed, I'm screwed, I'm screwed. I would just jump over to my spell menu, select, I can't remember what it was called, Moonshadow, I think? And then I would just run away. So it was a great ability, and I guess it's kind of become part of my playstyle here as well. Like, oh, invisibility time. I guess rather than drinking, rather than drinking potions to restore paralysis. Actually, I'm not even sure if there are potions to restore yourself from paralysis. I'll have to look into that. Still paralyzed. Still paralyzed. These spiders are actually putting up a pretty good. They're posing a good challenge for me. So yeah, I like this dungeon. It's straightforward, not too hard, but it's got me. It's tense enough that it's keeping me on my toes. Oh. Let's restore some power. Those potions are practically useless. No, I want to cast something here. Can I cast light? There we go. I wanted to be able to get see. I was like, is there something hiding on the other side of the room, but not attack me because I'm invisible? And here we go. I'm able to sneak up on them. I don't know. I'm guessing maybe just the Fortress of Ice just decided, hey, it was gonna screw up my my invisibility spell. I don't know. Huh. I'm still trying to think of a good example of power creep versus no power creep. Yeah, I don't think there's really a good example. Like, some RPGs, say the damage numbers might stay the same, but they focus more on abilities and special talents to win you fights and such. And those are the games I would say focus less on actual, what would be called power creep. Even though there is a slight increase in numbers, like Final Fantasy, I would say, I don't know. I don't know if they've changed, because I think my last Final Fantasy game was Final Fantasy 9, and after that I was just like, nah, yeah, never mind. I'm not into this anymore. But like, I'm thinking like Final Fantasy 7, you're hitting for like 9 damage, and you're just doing that repeatedly. That's very power creepy, because at the beginning of the game you're barely, you're doing a little over 100-ish. I think. Or I think you might even be in the 2 digits at the beginning of the game. There's that sound again. I can't tell if that's just sort of a mood thing, or if there's something nearby that is playing that sound. Huh, okay. No. And then you got more like, I can't think of a good example. Paper Mario? Because damage seemed... No, Paper Mario still went up. At the beginning you were doing like 1 or 2 damage, and then near the end, yeah, you were doing like... Well, no, you weren't doing that much. Your special attacks could do like double digits, but you weren't doing like tons and tons and tons of damage. So Paper Mario might be a good example. I'm thinking like Paper Mario and Thousand Year Door. They were pretty good for not having tons of, we'll say, a drastic increase in damage output. So that might be a decent example. I suppose, no, Pokemon's got... Well, it's actually... Yeah, because power creep tends to actually a lot... I'm going to go ahead and say Arena probably doesn't suffer too much from power creep, now that I think about it. Because a lot of the times... sorry, it took me so long to sort of formulate this thought, but... A lot of times it refers to the items that you're using. The weapons you're using. And... Arena tends to have a lot more in common with, say, like Dungeons and Dragons, where, you know, your individual weapons, you know, you're getting weapons that don't do tons and tons of damage. The damage tends to come from your level of experience and being able to execute special attacks and situational modifiers and such. So... I suppose that, yeah, Arena would be, so far, based on what I've played, seems to be a pretty good example of a game with very low to no power creep. Because it's not like the swords or the weapons I'm finding in this dungeon make the items I find in the first dungeon completely obsolete. It's just not the case. I find it's got a... yeah. Alright, enough of the talk of power creep. I think I've gone ahead and confused and annoyed people enough with that. Let's go ahead and continue exploring this. I've got to say, whoa! Ambushed! You were a fool to confront me, and now have paid the ultimate price. Even now my servants go to fetch your mortal husk. You will serve me well through my years as Emperor. Once I've made you undead, perhaps I will even let you retain some of your memories so that the price of your failure has meaning to you. I've already read that before. Alright, let's load the game. You know, it's actually been a little while since I've died, hasn't it? Alright, let's slay these wolves. Those guys just spawned out of nowhere. I don't know what I expected. I'm like, let's go to this exact same spot and see, you know, what happens. But you know what that tells me? That tells me that things are not completely random. That tells me that there is a, we'll say, a seed generated. That means that no matter when you save, things will randomly happen the same way, you know, as long as you're doing the same thing. So there's a sort of, we'll say, a pattern to the randomization. And, you know, this is true in, you know, some randomization aspects. If it doesn't grab a, what am I trying to say here? I'm trying to remember. No, I can't talk anymore. Those skeletons, they must have beat the, like, talk out of me or something when I died. Okay, nothing in here. Yeah, okay, so sometimes there's a random, we'll say, key generation, come on! Okay. A random key is generated at game start or at certain parts, we'll say, in the game. Maybe when the dungeon was generated and it's using that. And that might be how this game was coded. So basically whenever it needs a randomized number or something, it uses that, we'll say, key it generated at the beginning of, we'll say, either the game, the save, or that dungeon, or wherever it happens to generate that key. Now, if you want something a little bit more truly randomized, what you will often want to do is basically, I'm trying to remember. If I recall correctly, you want to sort of tie the randomization to, we'll say, the computer's clock. So basically, that way it's always grabbing a random number from the CPU. Or something like that. Feel free to go ahead and, anyone who's, we'll say, remembers off the top of their head, because it's actually been a while since I dealt with even, say, we'll call it primitive or low-level programming. It's been a while since I've done it, so I don't remember the nuances of it at this time. But if you want to go ahead and fill in people, if they even care, by all means, do so. Correct me. I like being I like it when correct information comes out. I'd prefer it if I was the one who delivered it, but if I am unable to, as long as people are informed, we are good. So let's see. Man, short-term memory, come on. Oh yes, I have not seen through that door, and I've not visited that corner of the room, according to my map, so maybe I should go over there and see. Yep, this is definitely a corner of a room. I don't need a mace. That'd be awesome if it was like mace, where you like sprayed in the guy's eyes. This orc's coming at you, he's like, oh, and you're like, tsh! He's like, oh, my eyes! That would be awesome. Like pepper spray? Oh, yeah. Actually, is there a spell that... No. I'm guessing due to, we'll say, technical limitations, they weren't able to put a pepper spray spell into the game. Or, you know, something that otherwise that would blind them. Like a blinding flash spell. And I don't know if that's... Blinding flash. Where did I... Oh, I pulled that from Rift, sorry. Okay, darn it, I was gonna rest, but I hear a spider, so I know I can't rest. And I'm stuck in the wall. Can I jump out? There we go. I have jumped out. So I've got to kill the spider, which is probably over there, so why don't I just jump back up there? Oh, it's right beneath me. Let's keep swinging until I stop hearing the sound. Alright, it's dead. Let's rest. Let's just rest until I'm fully healed. Since I'm suspended up... Whoa! I was gonna say, you know, since I'm suspended, I'm not gonna get attacked, but... enemy spawn nearby, evidently. Huh. I was under the impression that anytime you were elevated... Oh, hello. Shambling skeletons. Yeah, I was under the impression that anytime you were elevated, that if you rested, you'd be fine. But I guess that's not necessarily the case. Huh. I learned something new! Either that or the game's glitching on me. Which, it being a Bethesda Elder Scrolls game, is the norm. That's another way of saying it's normal. Okay, the walls here are different. But I don't really see anything different in here. Huh. Let's try going up through that middle door there. Or actually, I could go up this way too. Man, there's so many different ways I could go. It's a fairly big dungeon. And like I said, since I haven't cleared it before, I don't know exactly... Oh, hello, ghoul. How you doing? You know, the guy doesn't really look like a ghoul. I see him and I think like troll, maybe. But... whatever. Come on! The gradient sometimes just takes forever. And there's nothing in here either. So, you know, the dungeon is cool, but there's a lot of really big, empty rooms. And lots of spiders. And there's a guy right behind me, because I can't back up. Alright, invisibility. Come on. Come on. Hey, I don't want my invisibility to wear off before the paralysis does. Come on. Let me move. Come on! I'm actually getting a little bit nervous here. I'm like, okay. There we go. Is that a normal noise the spiders make? Alright. Huh. I've never heard a spider make that noise, so I'm just gonna sit here and listen. If I don't hear that sound again, then it's probably just an alternate sound for a spider. I didn't know enemies had alternate sounds, though. Maybe it's something I'll look into. Maybe something I'll look into during our break. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it here, guys. I'd like to thank you so much for joining me in my ranted foray through Selene's web. And next time, well, I don't know. Maybe we'll clear it out. Maybe we'll finish it. I'm not entirely sure. We'll just have to wait and see. Because, like I said, this part here is a little bit new for me, too. I'm exploring here. Hey, you know what? Leave a comment. Let me know. Would you prefer that I just play through it beforehand? Like I've played the game, I'm familiar with the game. But the dungeons themselves, would you prefer it if I were to, you know, play through with another character first and then kind of know where to go, just sort of get you to the meat and the potatoes, or do you like this sort of free-form wandering around, just sort of more of a natural style of play? If nobody answers, like they usually don't, then I'll probably just keep doing this exploration thing. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't let me know, because then I'll always have doubt, and I'll keep talking about it and waste more of your time. And you don't want me to do that, right? Didn't think so. So, thank you so much for joining me. And I would like to actually, one more thing. You know what? I'll walk, and maybe I'll clear one more room while I'm talking, because I have got one last thing I want to say. I typically do not like pushing. Oh. Before you lies a small arena surrounded by water. Something glitters on the stones of one island. Okay, I won't go in there just yet, but I'm making note. I'm gonna make a note. Go here. I'm just gonna go back this way while I talk. Man, I'm making this a lot longer than necessary. I don't like to push asking people to like and subscribe and stuff if you like the content, because to me it sounds like I'm desperate and I'm like, oh, please like, but you know what, sometimes I do it too. I tend to forget to like things, and it really does help content creators get their content out there. And it's, you know, it's encouraging. It helps me say, you know what, hey, I'm going to go ahead and record another video. It gets me really hyped up, and it really, you know, it helps me be more enthusiastic about creating more content when I know that people actually like it. And that if you comment that you like it, hey, you know what, that's cool too. Like it, subscribe it. Just let me know in some way. Liking and subscribing really helps out, so please do that. Yeah. Like I said, I don't want to sound desperate, and that's the reason why I haven't done it in the past, but I think I'm going to start, we'll say, asking you guys, just reminding you guys that I'd like to grow the channel, and I'd like to be able to branch out more things and get a little bit more exposure and stuff, and I am trying to, we'll say, improve on things, writing up new things like I did with, I'm doing with Memory Dump and at a glance videos. I'd like it to become more than just a little bit, let's playing channel. So I would like your assistance in making it a little bit more than that. So if you do like any of the content, please remember to like And if you're not already subscribed, please do so you don't miss anything else. Alright, I've gone on long-winded enough. Next time we're going to explore the center area. So until that time comes, game on.